2nd, 2025. Stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Peter Somerville, Town Councilman.
Brendan Arkin, Town Councilman.
John Dolce, Town Supervisor.
Randy Bates, Town Councilman.
Ryan Wood, Town Councilman.
Victoria Craig, Town Clerk.
Okay, any audience comments?
Good evening. I know it's not a department report, town board meeting, but I just wanted to mention that we held a community meeting for the Water District last Thursday at Hilltown Commons. I believe it went very well. There were some topics that sort of got convoluted in discussion. Some people didn't really understand who owned who owned the park, whether it was the town or the hike and things like that. But thanks to John for clearing that up during the meeting, and thanks to all of those of you who joined in person and on Zoom. The next step is for us to, we've actually already gotten 5 volunteers from the town to take all the information that we gathered that night in terms of people who have other ideas. The idea for the meeting was to bring them up to speed, the community up to speed, as well as give them the opportunity to voice their opinions, their ideas. And so we don't want to discount them at all. And so a work group of their peers will be working through, the list of options that they presented, and we'll narrow ourselves back down to what is the most likely site for new wells. So thank you again for your support, and that's it for me.
Any other audience comments? If not, the minutes for the May 8th meeting.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes for the May 8th town board.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. There are no budget modifications, no transfers. Once again, I'll make a motion to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. On the old business, the disability insurance resolution. I'd like to read this. Resolve, the town board of Town of Rensselaer approves the disability benefits insurance coverage change and provides authorization for the town supervisor to execute the same. It is further resolved that the employees shall pay the difference in the insurance coverage above what the town currently provides.
I'll make a motion that we adopt a resolution for the employee disability benefit insurance coverage.
I second.
All in favor? Well, do we take an individual vote?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
So John Dolce is an aye. Randy Bates,
Aye.
Pete Somerville,
Aye.
Ed Van Auken,
Aye.
and Brian Wood.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. The Albany County Hazard Mitigation Resolution.
I don't think you need to read the whole thing. I think you can just explain what it is. That's a lot of reading.
Okay.
You want me to talk about it?
Yes.
So the hazard mitigation plan is a plan that has to be done and prepared by by Albany County. It's a cooperative effort between our local municipalities and the county exec's office and the sheriff's office, and they prepared this plan, which really looks at mitigation projects that will help better prepare us in the event of natural occurring disasters such as floods or tornadoes or winter storms, etc. So this is basically just a resolution adopting the county's hazard mitigation plan, and which will then make us part of that mitigation plan, if you remember correctly. This is why we lost out on the last round of grant funding for the water district, because we did not partake in that process. So Ed's been big into it. I've been into it, but not because of here, but because of work. And it seems like an awful lot of work and an awful lot of money to spend and prepare this document, but it is what it is. We don't pay for it. It's FEMA funded. It's for FEMA, so they pay us to pay the county to do it, and they pay a company to put the whole thing together, which is a substantial amount of money, but it's more or less a formality. It doesn't really bring anything into us. Our one thing that we brought to it was about the dam and the water system. So I will make a motion that we accept or we adopt a resolution, participating in the Albany County High Hazard Mitigation Plan.
I'll second it.
So John Dolce is an aye. Randy Bates,
Aye.
Pete Somerville,
Aye.
Ed Van Auken,
Aye.
Brian Wood.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Thank you for that. The amended 284 highway agreement.
John, I actually have a report to give because I wasn't here at the first meeting, if that's all right with you.
So the May report, obviously we've been busy. It's that time of year. I did have a new employee hired. He started on Monday. I am looking to go through the formality tonight of appointing him officially, which isn't really required by law. But anyway, his name is Robert Peck. He's working out well so far. He's been working 4 days, so we'll see how things develop over the next couple of months. The 284 agreement here is before us. New York State budget has passed. They increased CHIPS funding by $50 million statewide. So that equates to $28,500 to the town of Rensselaerville in additional funding. All of our blacktop roads I put out for short quotes, which I had received back. And Cobleskill Stone Products has received the bid and with a price of $78.38 a ton in place. So we'll be moving forward with that. So with the changes to the 284 agreement, Smith Road has been moved from a 2-inch overlay to a 1-inch T&L with a 2-inch or with an 1.5-inch overlay. So it's an additional amount of blacktop that'll be put on there. Also, Jaycox Road, I added as an alternate road for a double chip seal if we have the funding when we're done with the other projects. The rest of it, the numbers have just been adjusted for the new price of blacktop, and I also adjusted the chip seal numbers to include the equipment rentals. Total spending is right around the same number as what it was before.
Jason, number 9.
Sure.
It says road is blank.
Because I County Route 351 to town. That is Johnny Cake Road. I whited it out on my page here and never filled it back in. Yep. Thank you.
Do you have a time frame for when this work will be done?
Yes. Cobleskill Stone, in place blacktop is looking like end of July, early August. And we're looking for chip sealing to be done early August. So that's time frame. Thank you.
We need a motion for that?
Yes, do you need a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to sign the updated contract as well.
Oh, yeah. I'll make a motion, we amend and sign the 284 highway with allow the supervisor.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I sign this. That's it.
You sign.
I'm just gonna go through the rest of the report here. This month, we did place 4 inches of shale and 2 inches of crusher run has been placed on 4,500 feet of Fleming Road. Shale and crusher run have been placed on some problem locations on Kelly Road and Wood Road.
In the last 2 weeks, Cooley Road, Littner Road, Wood Road, Bryan Road, Gulf Road, and Gulf Road Extension have been graded with material added where needed. We're currently working on Kenyon Road. We'll work our way south and over towards Potter Hollow on the dirt roads. We began changing pipes on the roads that we have to pave. We changed one this week, or yesterday, as a matter of fact, on Smith Road. We'll continue on Smith Road and then our work way over to Rooney Road and get the pipes changed on Rooney Road. I've installed several driveway culverts. I have a meeting scheduled on the 28th with DEC to discuss 2 culverts that need to be changed, one on Rooney Road, which is located next to Vicky's house that is listed on the trout stream that needs to be changed. I'm hoping to do that prior to paving. So we're gonna try to get the permit process expedited if possible. The second location is on Davis Mountain. That's a 4-foot culvert that is failing. It's also listed as a trout feeder stream and needs permitting. So we're going to work on that. I'm hoping next week that we will get out and do some of the worst asphalt patching, the worst spots, get them attended to. There's some bad locations on Cheese Hill Road and a few spots on Pond Hill Road that have really come apart. Requested a waiver for Kenyon Road. Kenyon Road was last paved in 2017, which would not make it eligible for CHIPS funding through New York State DOT. They have approved the waiver, so that'll be eligible for CHIPS funding for the repavement of the lower section of Kenyon Road. And then on to the recycling. We did have a meeting last month with the Capital Region Waste Management Planning Committee. Our current plan with DEC has expired. So the City of Albany is the lead agency. They're redoing their DEC plan for the waste management program. We will be included within the new plan. We'll see what changes come forward. As of right now, the City of Albany landfill is slated to close January 1st, 2028. They're working on building a transfer station. Some rough numbers that got thrown around in the meeting, nothing official, was to expect rates of around $150 a ton to get rid of garbage after that transfer done. So that's a significant increase. So that we'll have to look forward to in the next few years. So anyway, I'll continue to attend those meetings and keep you updated of any changes that are coming. So I think that rounds out my report.
Move we accept the highway and superintendent report.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye. Couple weeks late. Okay, we're gonna open the parking lot bids. First one is Cobleskill Stone Product. This is phase 2. Non-conclusive bidding certificate attached. $41,340.
What was it? 41,000.
$41,340 from Cobleskill Stone. The next one is from Peckham. Non-conclusive bidding certificate is attached. $56,160. And Callahan. Non-conclusive bidding certificate attached, and this does not have a total, Jason.
What is the price per ton?
Huh?
Does that have a price per ton? It's 268 tons. Is what
It says 270, it says plus or minus 275 a ton,
$275 a ton.
plus or minus.
That's good. I don't know whether.
Is it?
Or is it 275 tons?
The job is 275 ton, plus or minus. The price is 190 a ton. $190 a ton, time 270.
Let me see.
51,300.
51.3.
Oh, so I should be reading, so Cobble Skill is 260 a ton, no, 260 tons at $159 a ton.
159 a ton.
Still $10,000 cheaper.
And what was Callahan's price per ton?
The last one?
150.
No, the last, 190 is the
190.
And then Peckham is 208 a ton for 270 tons. But I'll give this to the highway super to decipher.
But we
I
award
didn't know
the
who
bid.
he told, huh?
But we would award the bid, we would approve the bid.
So,
So are you okay with Cobblestone Stone?
They're doing all our roads this year. It makes sense for me. We did the front parking lot.
So they're low bid, so why don't we make a motion to award them? Get it done.
so you make a motion to,
I make a motion that we accept the bid from Cobblestone Stone for $41,340 to pave the part B of our parking lot.
I'll second.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. That's done. Okay, on the new business. Appoint Robert Peck as highway employee, which is not legally required according to Jason, but I make a motion, I met him, I make a motion to appoint Robert Peck as highway employee.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, audience comments.
We got two. So I'm sorry, I'm texting a little bit here, but do we know how the Vogue applications went out this time? Anybody know?
When you say how,
Well, there's a whole bunch of things here and it said the Vogue application was due by May 15th. So I obviously immediately looked through to see if my fire department had applied and what they applied for, and they're not in here. And so I made some texts and I'm like, how come we didn't apply for, because this obviously give me money, right? And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. So like how, so that's the problem I have. So how did this go out?
and this is a problem.
Okay.
We put on the website, the Rensselaerville, the Vogue committee apparently is the one that's been sharing information. And for whatever reason, Tri-Village didn't know about it. It's on we put it on our website, correct?
It's removed now. but yeah.
It's removed now. So we have to come up with a better way. There's quite a few things that I want to bring up about this. Is it
They were
appropriate?
mailed
Huh?
last year. They were mailed out
Right.
last year, and then this year it was decided that we shouldn't do that.
So
Who decided? The committee?
I'm not sure.
the problem with this whole scenario is that if you look at these awards,
Yeah.
it's definitely Rensselaerville Hamlet.
Right.
And it's not, it's not for some reason brought out to the other
Right.
hamlets. It's very one-sided. I wasn't gonna bring this up until the committee decided things, but I think we should discuss this one-on-one. What do you want? If you want me to just say it now, I don't have a problem saying it now, but I don't want to offend people.
Well, I don't know that it has to be offensive. Like, at the end of the day, I do understand that you're looking at a volunteer committee of people that are gonna review applications. But
That's
clearly-
it, they're reviewing the
So
application,
I think that my opinion is the town,
is
should
responsible to
we-
share the information.
right, so we should dictate when the applications are gonna go out. I have no beef. I would totally be on board with somebody that said, you know what, we're not, let them come to us and figure it out. But in fairness, anybody that received the grants the last time, my fire department for one, then it got so screwed up because we were waiting for the attorney generals or whoever.
We wait for the award.
Right, so it was well over a year before we got it. If there was a regular, like, you have to apply April 1st for the May 15th deadline, and you missed that, so be it. But if you randomly come up with a May 15th deadline, and because it wasn't a May 15th deadline last time, you know.
Yes, it was. What,
I don't.
No, it's-
Yeah.
we're trying to get it to be,
Right, so I think that it's not that hard to have a database of the not-for-profit organizations in the town. And we just send a mailer out, boom, this is it, on this day, then we know it went out to everybody. And then there's no problem, but, to not do that, I think is,
so the first year was tough. This year, there's a lot of issues.
well,
Okay. So-
what are the issues? The issues are not everybody got it, that's the issue.
The issues are, all right. So the committee asked me how much money we had.
Yeah.
It was about 40,000.
So,
Okay. I'm shocked that all the requests totaled out to be $40,000.
okay, interesting,
Interesting.
right,
So my opinion, my feelings are, this is not the committee members, again, I'm not knocking them, but they're sharing, not with everyone, they're
Right.
sharing with a select few.
right,
And that's the problem that I have.
okay. Which is why,
So now it's not on the committee anymore, it's
Right.
on us.
right,
So the first year was bad, the second year was bad. So now going forward, we've got to clean up.
Right.
I got to figure out a way how to do this.
it's
And
very,
what-
it's very simple, like, we just look, we know who we gave money to last time, right? And that was pretty much everybody, there was a few people, there's some new ones in this one, because Preston Hall Cemetery is in this one. Tri-Village is not, but I see Preston Hall Cemetery.
And I gave you a list.
Yeah, so we just create a database of the not-for-profit organizations in the town. And then we solicit the applications. We tell them what we want their projects to be. This happens every single year through DEC with the forestry grant, right? We get a grant from DEC. It says we're doing the forestry firefighter protection grant. We encourage you to have your programs be about $3,000. And we're gonna match them, and it's a 50-50 match, right? So we always put in the same thing, we want protection of equipment and all this other stuff. And then we get it one year and we don't get it the next year, we get it that, this is how it works out. I mean, it's, so I think if we do the same thing, send it out, we know we're sending it out to 50 agencies, we encourage you to have $1,000 per agency. And then if we're gonna give it to 40 this year, then you give everybody a +1 or something for next year that didn't get it. So they're gonna get it right off the bat. There'll be 10 other agencies that didn't get it.
So
I don't think that I don't think it has to be that hard.
after last night, I was thinking, and I was gonna talk to Vicky and Carolyn to see. We start tomorrow. Let's start reaching out for this. Have people register or put their name in for this QHAR grant for May of 2026.
Yeah.
You know, so there's very few ways that we're reaching out to people. I had a conversation about Vicky about starting the newsletter again.
Right.
But that takes manpower, that takes people, you know, which,
Nobody reads the newsletter and, you know, I mean, it's great that we put it on a website, but I don't even know when I've looked at the town website again. People just don't look at the
people
town.
won't look
You
at it.
see it more on Facebook when you kick out a Facebook post or social media post. Nobody looks at a website anymore, hardly at all, unless you're applying for something.
Right, so how do we,
You know,
this
it's
is the question to the board, how do we get it out
a mailing or an email, like.
there? A mailing, but if we know who to mail it to.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
took-
there's new groups this year that weren't there last year,
Right.
you know, and
And those are the groups that I'm
how
asking.
do you gonna know who, you had no idea who might apply? You know, you know who applied before, but I don't think an award is gonna be, has to be granted each year.
Correct.
You know,
I agree.
I mean, there has to be an application, a justification of what the needs are, and then the committee can decide, but I don't think it's.
But my point is, if you have a grant and you don't tell people you have the grant, then it's not an inclusive grant process.
Right, but how do we tell them? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's not that hard. We can.
We were
you know,
talking about doing a business listing.
Right.
On our website for people that have businesses in Rensselaer. They don't have to live here, but they have to have a business here, you know? My business doesn't work because my businesses are not in Rensselaer.
Yeah, I guess my point being
Right,
is we
Vicky?
know what's important, right? So we know that the churches are important. We know cemeteries are important. We know the parks are important. We know the fire departments are important. And, you know, I'm sure there's a handful of other civic groups. There are stuff in here like spaying cats, you know, like to somebody that's important. To me, that's not as important as making sure our cemeteries are kept respectful and our fire trucks go down the road and our churches, you know, can still provide worship services, right? I do understand that spaying and neuter cats is important, but like, I think that, I don't wanna overthink it. Like, I think we blanket it out there. Hey, we're gonna put it on, we have a sign, we can put it on there, you know, Vogue grants available, contact town hall. You know, the Facebook, social media is a big post. We all, you know, a lot of us have social media, like I would push it out, you know, because then I have people that see it that are in the town of Rensselaer. And you gotta get the word out. And then I agree, like Randy said, now you may have more than you need. Obviously, our money available to us is gonna be based on how well the markets are doing, right? So this year, probably 40, we could have had a lot more if the markets were better, but it wasn't. It was an off year, so we got 40 grand. So we might not be able to award as many as that, but you have to let people know about it. I mean, I would have right off the bat thought that we would have at least sent a letter to the award recipients that we gave last time and said, hey, just so you know, we're doing
Which
this
makes
again.
sense, Brian.
And then, you know, I see this and I'm like, well, geez, that $1,000 really helped us out in the firehouse. And I only went looking and digging because my mother never gives up a penny. So like there was a problem, like why isn't ours in there? So, you know, that's, I think that it doesn't have to be super hard. I think we just gotta solicit the town through, you know, social media. We know certain things. We know the fire departments, we know the churches, we know the cemeteries, we know the parks. We already have all that. So those are all easy. And, you know, if we have to do a postcard to send it out, then we have to do a postcard. If I have to come over and help Vicky and Melissa, I'd be happy to come over and do it. It's just to
So
get
I'm
it out.
writing down that we're gonna send letters to prior year awardees, social media, which I don't do, so that's not something that I think of, but we do, right? We have Facebook.
I just think, I mean, to be honest with you, I sit on the town board and didn't even know this was happening. So this is the news to me. I
That's
didn't
because you
know.
don't want me to mention Bogue anymore.
That's true. Fair enough. I take it back. Fair enough. I take it back. But, I just think that, we can do a better job of getting it out there and I think if whatever you decide to do, I'm not gonna throw a hissy fit because I also know as much as $1,000 will help Tri-Village Fire Department. They're not gonna go out of business if they don't get $1,000. So if you wanna move forward with this one and just say Chucks will do better next year, but if not, I'm sure there are people that didn't know about this that could use some money.
Well, the other thing.
The other question I have is if we made it $40,000, wasn't there money left over from last year that we could kick into it? Thought there was leftover
Did you
money.
guys get the copy?
No.
of this? So I shouldn't say it's $40,000. So here, pass that down. I forgot to give it to you. So the top amount, non-expendable trust is $830,000.
Yep.
So this is, if you said expendable, this is all the interest we got for including 25 up to April 30th. Under that shows what we have dispersed. What's not on here, which I found out last night, was $2,500. So the expenditure is gonna go up $2,500. $1,000 we increased on the town budget, the park, and $1,500 we increased the senior services. Remember in the budget, because they don't have W-9s, we couldn't send them a check.
Oh, yeah, got it.
So we increased the budget $2,500, so we're gonna write a check from the Bogue Fund to the general fund for $2,500.
Okay.
So that means that $45,300 is gonna go down $2,500.
Yeah, $40,000, like you said.
So from that, whatever that, I don't, it was 42,800. 10% of that every year we're keeping in case the market flunks.
Yeah, I got it.
So that brought me down to $38,500
Right.
that we could spend. So that's an accumulation from day one of all the interest.
Yeah.
So if we give out 38,000, that's everything that we could spend.
Right. And then, when you look at these award letters, like we only gave out like 1,000, there's a couple $1,500 ones that they gave out last year.
So
But these are, there's $2,600 for the cemetery. I saw like, here's $2,000 for the Medusa Cemetery, $4,100 for the Rensselaerville Fire Department. Like,
so
what
that's,
happened to $1,000 and now all of a sudden we're doing 4,000 a piece? Like,
that's what they're requesting.
well, I know, but you said that it adds up to $40,000. I just think that's funny.
But again, the
$800.
committee's gonna come back to us
Yeah,
and I wanna show what we spent last year.
yeah,
And we don't have to spend all of that $38,000. Like,
And that's including a lot of years of interest. Next year, that number is gonna be quite substantial.
Yeah, exactly.
lower.
Lot smaller, yeah.
And
and there's not gonna be any money to give out. Like Conklin Hall, we gave 1,500 last year.
right.
Now they're requesting 9,000. Now, remember, what the grant is for is to better the town of Rensselaerville.
Yeah.
So there's things in here that are not bettering the town. They're just requests for money.
Yeah. Anyway. I have one other thing. In reviewing the, vouchers and bills, there's a bill in there for Albany Police Department for $50 for speeding with the town car.
Yes. So we had received a warning. One of our volunteer drivers went to Albany, and I guess the speed limit's $25.
25 miles an hour in a school zone,
20.
20.
I think the speed limit is 25.
In the city, but school zone is 20.
Okay, but in the city, so
Yes.
these volunteer drivers went to, we got a warning for the first one. The second one, when we got the first warning, I should have sat down, or Vicky should have sat down with the volunteer drivers and told them that this is the scenario. Okay, that the speed limit is 25, you have to abide by that. Anyway, the first time when we got the warning, I didn't learn from that. I didn't tell the volunteer driver. The second one, I felt that we should just pay it as a town, not to freak out our volunteer drivers. But now that we're paying the $50, we're definitely telling each, and I'm sure Vicky already did that, telling the volunteer drivers that when you go to Albany, this is the speed limit.
Right.
That's the $50. So,
And that's all I wanted to know. I think that's a pretty good way of handling it. I'm just saying, going forward, they have to be responsible for their own speed.
right, but the first time I
That's
didn't,
fine. I agree. You know, they probably are not up on all the BS that goes on in that city like anybody else is, but.
Nor would they have received a warning.
Right, nor did they get the warning for that, they've done it, but now we need to make sure that we give them a warning and make sure they know if they get one, they're responsible for paying.
Correct. The next one's on them.
right, so this was the best, I thought it was the fairest thing.
No, I think you're 100% right. It's completely fair. I just wanted to see what our opinion was going forward because these are not gonna be uncommon. I mean, but keep in mind, you go to Albany now, you can get tickets by passing red, school buses because they all have cameras on them. You can get tickets for going through a red light because they have about 100 of them in the city of Albany. And now there's school bus or school zone cameras in every school in Albany. So,
Not coming to a full stop at a red light
Yeah.
before turning right.
Yeah. yeah, if you come around a corner, take a right on red, but you didn't come to a complete stop, well, yeah.
How much does that cost you?
$50.
Four.
Well, as long as we got a plan for it, because I just think if we're doing that, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna,
I
yeah.
don't wanna scare them away, but like, you can abide 55, you can abide 20 in the school zone, right, you know, now, like. And all of them up there, I'm pretty sure most of them have flashing yellow lights. when they're on.
Actually, the first driver that got the warning, we did tell that individual person, but we didn't share with all
It was a different person.
the drivers.
That driver actually came in to us.
Huh?
Said I got here, how do you know you got caught?
I'm not sure,
Yeah, it's weird, because I mean, you never know you're getting the.
unless he
picture
was
taken.
talking, he or she was talking to somebody
I knew it was coming.
and about that area and said maybe that's why everybody was going so slow and
So the
they
other,
thought they were, and
the
I'm
other,
not sure.
the other issue you're gonna have to worry about is, you know, somebody gets it, and they don't wanna pay it. You know, what are you gonna do? Because eventually they'll suspend the license of the vehicle, of the registration.
Yeah, it's not like you have drivers lined up either.
Right.
$50 to keep a driver going is not as bad.
Yeah, so we just gotta
We gotta
keep them aware of
Yeah.
what the situation is.
I don't wanna know if they have a free, get out of jail free card, but if it becomes a problem.
All right, anything else? Fine.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Aye.
You're slow.